Hi, it's Jacquie Cohen Roth, founder CEO of education platform CannabizMD and nonprofit TPAD. I'm all about education, from CannabizMD to a workforce development grant that I'm a partner on. We're funded by the Maryland Department of Labor. I'm based here in Maryland. CannabizMD is an international company, and then nonprofit TPAD is about empowering women to advance in cannabis STEM, that's science, technology, engineering, and medicine, through skill-based education and professional development. So I'm really excited to have video number 1 of a series that I hosted in 2023 called Grow the Ladies. I have cultivar here, Pink Certz, that I'll be talking about, and 2 clones, which means that they are genetically identical. We have Misha and Minnie. I'm going to share in the next video what the names mean to me and why I named the ladies Misha and Minnie. Shout out to SunMed Growers here in Maryland who supplied the clones to me. The stage that they're in, they're not producing any THC. So they didn't need what's called a COA, a certificate of analysis, at the dispensary as part of the transaction for the plants to get from the grow to the dispensary to me. So we're going to be talking about a COA, again, as a certificate of analysis. It is imperative that patients and consumers understand what a certificate analysis is. While I was at the dispensary yesterday, I always chat up the dispensary attendants or bud tenders, find out what education they've taken, what they're provided, and what they do on their own. By law here in Maryland, our bud tenders, dispensary attendants, are required to have training called responsible vendor training. That's RVT. CannabizMD is approved by our regulatory agency here in Maryland, that's the Maryland Cannabis Administration, to deliver this education. And one of those requirements by law is for the dispensary attendants, and actually all agents, those are employees for a licensed cannabis business, to know what a COA is, and an innumerable number of regulations that are about
just keep going.
Yeah, the COMAR, which are the laws that guide and create the standards for a well-regulated cannabis industry. So I am going to be, over the next 8 to 10 weeks of the growing season, and then we're going to get into the harvest, drying, all of that. I'm going to be educating you with cannabis science and policy along the way, and tips on how to grow cannabis at your own home. I'm a medical cannabis patient here in Maryland, so by law, I am permitted to grow 4 plants. An adult use consumer by law in Maryland, or a recreational user, can grow 2 plants in their home. Got the bugs around, which are good things. So I'm going to be growing the ladies. They're going to start off in my raised bed right here, growing alongside some compostable forks. I'm not growing forks, but what I have them in my bed for is that the squirrels were crazy early growing season. So what the sharp tines do is prevent the squirrels and predators and other pests from bothering my herbs here, and we're going to see how effective they are as well for my cannabis plants. What I'm going to be doing when they're a little bit bigger is doing an experiment, having one grow in my yard down below where it's really sunny, and then keeping one in a growing pot on my deck here. So the cultivar here, commercially, cultivars are known as strains. I'm a cannabis scientist. We consider strains as a bacteria. So we're not growing a bacteria, we're growing a cultivar. So again, that's a difference of one of the examples of nomenclature within the cannabis industry, whether you're talking to a commercial grower or a legacy grower, an at-home grower, or a scientist, policy expert like myself. So the cultivar here is named Pink Certz, which I'm pretty sure is a play on names. Certz, they were a breath mint that 2 mints in one, if anybody remembers that. So give you some a profile. That's what that COA delivers to you, is by law, again, and this is pretty much applicable across all regulated programs within the US, The COA delivers what the cannabinoid profile is, how much CBD, THC, other cannabinoids that are present in that cannabis product, as well as terpenes, those essential oils. They also have therapeutic effects like the cannabinoids do. And then what's also really critically important for all cannabis products to go through the testing by a third-party lab, and that's the organization, the business entity that provides that COA. What that COA also delivers is to ensure that the products are safe for consumption. You want to make sure that there aren't any heavy metals in the growing medium. I've got organic soil here. I've been amending my soil in my yard. So, some folks, cannabis patients, even consumers are allergic to metals, so that could be hugely problematic if they're ingesting a product going into their lungs, if they're going to be smoking cannabis. We're going to be talking about the different delivery methods. That's how you consume cannabis. You've got your smoke, you've got your through a joint or a device. You've got edibles, concentrates, etc. So I'm going to be dropping that information to you as well. So while we're on the subject of the naming, what's behind a plant is, this is something that kind of drives me crazy, is that what we're going through in the US right now, cannabis was recently rescheduled by the federal government from a Schedule 1, meaning the most restrictive, having no medical benefits, having a high addiction rate, to a Schedule 3, where it does have some recognized therapeutic benefits. So what that means also in healthcare is that our DEA licensed healthcare providers are going to be writing prescriptions for cannabis. So here are some names that I think our healthcare providers are going to have an issue writing a script for. We've got Toad Venom, Hyperza, West Coast Whistle, Garlic Gas, Moon Fog, Candy Hustle, Biscotti Gelato. Those are just a sample. So again, I'm going to be diving into the nomenclature where in science we refer to a 1, a 2, or class 3. This is a hybrid, so this is a cross between a sativa and an indica. Sativas grow tall, and an indica is a shorter, squattier plant. So again, this is a hybrid. It has a growing cycle, and that's what the commercial growers are looking for, is a really quick growth cycle. So this should flower, and I will be harvesting, or should be flowering certainly by week maybe 6, and I'll be harvesting around week 8 to 10. So, and they're gonna be, if all goes well, a whole lot bigger. So along the way, again, I'm gonna be dropping some tips on how to grow cannabis. I'm leaning into my colleagues in the industry, whether they're growers within a regulated business or legacy growers. Things like, I pick up from growing organically. Here, my basil, my all my herbs right here. So I've taken what I learned in 2023 and applied that knowledge growing my cannabis back in 2023 organically to my raised beds here in my yard, and proof is in the pudding. They look great. So again, I am excited to be here with season 2 of Grow the Ladies, and I look forward to you following me along the way. I'll be sharing on LinkedIn, Instagram, where you might be watching me right now. Our Instagram account is CannabizMD. TPAD is _TPAD. And then my LinkedIn account, Jacquie Cohen Roth, and then of course CannabizMD. So I will see you on the next Grow.